All right, how's it going, guys? So today we're up on the beautiful patio up here. We're going to be showing you some good exercises for a question I got sent in. So the question is, my legs aren't as explosive as they are powerful. I feel everything, or as strong actually. I feel everything in my quads and my hamstrings. What exercises can I do to get explosiveness in my legs without building too much muscle? So for clarification, I know the person who sent in this question, he's a wrestler. So his ultimate goal is to stay lean, but get stronger and more powerful. So with that context in mind, the ultimate idea, if you're not trying to build lots of muscle and maintain a relatively similar frame throughout your entire strength building phase or power building phase, would be to keep the reps very low. So this would mean doing lots of sets. And I want you to keep this in mind. Keep the reps low when it comes to big, heavy, main compound movements. Not what I'm going to show you today. I'm giving some general advice before I go into the exercise prescription. So this would mean working with things like power cleans, snatches, even your squat and your deadlift will build up your power and your strength, because power is just your ability to move something heavy in a fast speed. So I would work on your Olympic lifts like the clean and the snatch. You can do hang cleans, you can do power cleans. These will help increase the speed of your hips, because what it sounds like, if you're very quad and hamstring dominant, your glutes aren't being activated as much, and that's where a lot of the power comes from. So I would recommend, maybe doing some power cleans, working up like to 5 upwards of 8 sets of 3, or doubles, keeping the reps very, very low, but making sure your form is perfect and your hips are snapping through each time. So this would mean when you're working with your non-Olympic lifts like your squat and your deadlift, you keep the reps below about 5 or 6, work upwards of 3 to, well, let's go a little bit higher, probably 5 to 8 sets, sometimes even 10 sets if you're doing singles or doubles. So outside of the weight room, you're going to be benefited by sprints, of course, because while they are very quad dominant, they are still going to help in your general explosiveness. I'd recommend sprints at least twice a week. And those Olympic lifts and the strength lifts that I mentioned prior, do at least 4 days of weightlifting, interchange those. So maybe do 2 days of Olympic lifts and then 2 days of strength lifts. Or you could even do 2 days of Olympic lifts and still lift for strength 4 days a week, but do your power exercises first. Your cleans, your snatches, anything that's going to require a fast twitch, muscle fiber to be recruited, do those first. So that way you're not drained from your strength exercises. So today, what I'll be showing you is a kettlebell swing and goblet squat combos. So while this is a little bit different than what you might see in the gym, because you're not actually going to be doing this exercise in the gym, I am going to ask of you to get yourself a kettlebell and take it out to, well, you're a wrestler, the person who I'm answering the question for. So I would say take this kettlebell to, I'll go ahead and show the kettlebell as well. Any size will work. Start out at about 20 pounds, and you can work your way up to 40s, 50s, wherever you can still maintain perfect form with. So you're going to go ahead and take this kettlebell onto the mat with you or in a room nearby. What I'm going to ask of you is to do 3 to 5 sets of 20 kettlebell swings, which I'll be showing you, and 10 goblet squats, which I'll also be showing you. And then after you do those 2 movements, you're going to go into your skill practice. So that would mean having a partner there to shoot on. Practice anything that you need to be explosive in. If you're a thrower, say for javelin or shot put, you would do your 20 kettlebell swings, then go right into your goblet squats, and then practice 3 to 5 good throws, and then rinse and repeat this. And I would go each side too. If you're a thrower, if you're a boxer, same thing. 20 kettlebell swings, 10 goblet squats, right on into throwing your punches, really focusing on shooting the hips and making sure you're exploding through the glutes and your entire body. So what this does is it activates your kinetic chain to be able to reproduce speed. If you use a movement like the kettlebell swing, and we're gonna apply the fast hip action of the kettlebell swing into the goblet squat as well, you're going to be able to replicate that in your actual movement in your sport. So if you're a wrestler, doing the kettlebell swings beforehand will prime your system to snap the hips faster. If you're a boxer, it'll make it so that way your hips will snap and be able to transfer the whole energy through your entire kinetic chain better. If you're a thrower, it'll allow you to do the same thing, snap your hips faster. You don't really need to know the scientific part of this to feel the result. You will see your hips will shoot faster if you do these kettlebell swings and goblet squats. Kettlebell swings are a little bit more important during your actual training. So like I said, 3 to 5 sets, 20 goblet squat or 20 kettlebell swings and 10 goblet squats. You're gonna do the swings first, the squats second, so that way your muscle memory is gonna apply the fast hips in the swings to the squats as well. So try this out for 2 to 4 weeks and you will feel a big increase in your hip explosion within your sport. So for the kettlebell swing, you're gonna wanna get your feet about squat width apart, which is a little bit outside of your shoulders. You're going to want to not make this movement into a squat. So you're not gonna drop your hips down low. You're going to practice bending the knees slightly, pushing the hips back, and you're going to squeeze your glutes and bring your hips forward as hard as you can. You want to imagine that as you're doing this movement, you're having a magnet pulling your crotch forward. And the more your hips go forward, the harder the magnet is going to pull them. So this is going to create an effect of your hips snapping through as hard as possible. Your arms aren't being used in this movement. It's just your arms are more of a holder for the actual weight, where your hips are moving it primarily. Don't be afraid to dip down forward slightly as you do this. You don't need to stay very upright. Lean forward, hinge, shoot the hips. So for the goblet squat, you're gonna wanna go ahead and hold the kettlebell, bell up. You're going to want a big chest, keep your elbows tight to the body, feet about the same, a little bit wider than your shoulders. You're going to push the hips back first, open the knees nice and wide, and a good way to know you're hitting good depth and you're leaning and your torso's in the right position is if as you go down, your elbows slightly slide along the inside of your knees, just gently sliding. They don't need to be jammed into them. Just have skin on skin contact or skin on jean contact or clothing on clothing contact. So with the goblet squats, you're gonna want to have that explosion carry over from the actual swing. So when you're doing them, you don't want to be slow with your hips and come on up like you're just going through the motion. You want to go down low, pop them through. Squeeze the glutes, hips all the way through, thrusting forward as hard as you can. And that's how you do the 2 exercises.